guys, it's Matt, the overall bargain hunter here. Today's going to be a little bit different. Instead of going out and hunting for bargains, I'm going to go over some things that I've learned being a full-time reseller this last 6 months. Hopefully this is information that you can use if you're starting your journey. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate you checking it out. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy it. Overall, hopefully you learned a little bit in this video. Let's check it out. So I started full-time reselling in January of 2022, so this year. I've been doing it for about 6 months now. There are a few things that I've learned, and some things I learned really quickly, other things I still make mistakes on now. It's always a learning process. Just like with anything, you're gonna learn as you go. As long as you're learning from your mistakes and making those changes, that's good. Mistakes are gonna happen to everybody. One of the things that I learned early on is when posting on eBay, if you're going to do an auction, don't start it at 99 cents with no reserve. If you start an auction at 99 cents with no reserve, most likely it's going to sell at 99 cents. And unless you're willing to sell that item at 99 cents, you're probably going to end up being a little bit upset about that. Now, I don't do a whole lot of auctions. I usually do the buy it now option, but it's up to you how you set it up. But my advice is, if you're going to do an auction, start your bid at the lowest amount that you're willing to accept. Now, sometimes you'll have an item and it'll get a lot of bids and grow. You have to know that a lot of times it's that first bid and it's only going to get one bid, maybe two bids. So it's probably going to sell for around that starting price. Again, sometimes that's not true and it does get higher. I generally go for the buy it now option when I'm posting, because that's just the amount I want. Someone's going to pay it. I don't have to worry about waiting 7 days for the auction to end. That person wants it now, they buy it now. Of course, there is the other option to have the auction start and have a buy it now option as well. But when you're first starting out, make sure you're not just posting everything at 99 cent starting bids, because that can obviously lead to some losses if you don't get the bids that you're looking for. Another thing on eBay, and I've talked about this one a couple of times in some different videos, but shipping. I always say it in these videos because it's one of the things that I still struggle with to this day. Sometimes I think that an item's going to be $5 to $6 to ship, and it turns out being $10. And that's an extra $5 that I wasn't planning on being out of pocket. So it's really important to be accurate. Most of the time those mistakes are just being lazy. I don't go and actually measure the item and weigh it. I just go, oh, that's going to be a couple of dollars. And so I put my shipping around that cost. So I just need to be careful with that. I do offer a lot of free shipping on my items, but I add that into my cost of my item. However, if that's $5 more than I thought it was going to be, a lot of times that eats away a lot of my profit, sometimes my whole profit. Definitely be careful with that. I've gotten better as I've gone, but every now and then I do still make that mistake. Again, usually it's just a lazy mistake. I just didn't want to take the time to do it, and then it cost me in the end. So always make sure you're taking your time on your shipping. Get the most accurate details you can when you're adding that into your cost. Another thing that I learned is that you can't please all of your buyers. So recently I got negative feedback for an item, which was like a little travel contact solution thing. I had in the description and the title that it expired in January of 2022. This buyer bought it. I shipped it out to them, and then they replied back and said, this is expired, I'm going to report you, I want a full refund, if not I'll give you negative feedback, I'm going to report you to my credit card company, all this different stuff. I offered him a partial refund to cover the cost of the item, but I said I couldn't refund him the cost of the shipping because then I would be losing money. And he was still upset, but he said that's fine. He accepted that refund, but then he still left negative feedback. My thought was, you know what, I'm just going to take this item off of eBay. I'm not going to even deal with that anymore. I was kind of upset. I messaged eBay and told them how what had happened, and they said there was nothing they can do about it. I didn't end up taking the item off, and since then I sell about 1 or 2 of those a week. So I'm glad that I didn't let that negative buyer have me take that off of eBay, because if I would have lost out on, I think I've had like 7 or 8 sales since then, all positive feedback. Now I will say that since then, anytime someone buys it, I send them a message and I say, hey, just so you know, this is expired in January of 2022. I wanted to make sure that's okay with you before shipping. Every single person has said that is fine. Also, when I was first starting out, I had a buyer that I sold a Pikachu plush to request a refund, saying that the plush had wires sticking out, that it was dirty, which the plush didn't have any type of wire framing, so I wasn't sure what was going on with that. They wanted a refund. I went through eBay because I didn't want to give a refund, but eBay says that I should accept the refund and then go from there. I accepted the refund and I sent them a return shipping label, which I had to pay for. And all of a sudden they said, oh no, never mind, the item is fine. It was a gift for my nephew and they said that it was messed up, but it turns out that it was fine. And so I'm pretty sure that buyer was just trying to get a refund, or at least a partial refund, on that item. But when I told them that they would need to send it back, all of a sudden that changed. So you have to be careful with that. There are buyers that are going to be out there like that, and it happens. But you can't let that deter you. It's going to happen. Just keep pushing forward. Hopefully that doesn't happen very often, and you're able to outweigh the negatives with all the positives that are going forward with your business. The next thing that I learned is to do your research. So I always use the eBay app when I'm out at thrift stores or if I'm out at the flea market looking at stuff. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of time, and sometimes I feel like if I'm in someone's booth at the flea market and I keep looking everything up, they're probably getting a little bit annoyed. But, you know, I want to make sure that what I'm buying actually has good value. When you're looking something up on eBay, make sure you're looking at the sold comps. Again, that's something that I've mentioned before, but don't just look at the listing prices. People can list it at any price they want. You want to see what it's sold for recently, and if multiple items have sold recently. Because if it has a good sell-through rate and it has good sold comps, it means that you're going to be able to sell it around those prices. I will admit that I do buy stuff blind sometimes where I'm not actually looking it up. Sometimes it works out for me and sometimes it doesn't. But it is a good idea to always do the research, always at least look on the eBay sold comps for a couple of items that are similar. The more experience you get, the better you'll know what items sell for you, and that's great, but in the beginning you definitely need to be doing your research. Right, the last little bit that I have for you today is to be willing to take a chance. So I've had a couple of times where I found an item and there were like 20 or 30 of them. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to buy 2 or 3 because they're $2 each, or I'm going to buy 5 of them. So I had these little skull hooker things that I bought like 5 of them. And all of a sudden I posted them, and within like 2 or 3 weeks I sold all of them. Of course, when I went back I couldn't find them. And so that's happened a couple of times with different items. I will say that on other occasions I've bought all of them and I've sold like 2 or 3, and then I'm sitting on the other ones for a long time. And so that's okay. It is going to be hit and miss, but you got to be willing to take the chances. You're not always going to know that it's going to sell like that. Again, if you're checking those sell-through rates and things like that, that'll help you know that information. But sometimes you just have to go out and try those things and see what's going to work for you. As you go, you'll know the items a little bit better. Cat blooper. Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to do a video. I've really only been doing this full time for 6 months, so I know I still have a lot to learn, but I'm hoping that these things that I've learned in this first 6 months will help you if you're starting out. Maybe even if you've been doing it for a while, just getting somebody else's perspective. I'll try to get back out next week doing some bargain hunting, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. That's the way we grow the channel. As always, I appreciate your guys' support. You're awesome. This is Matt, the overall bargain hunter, signing out. See you guys next time.